Hi, I'm Jocelyn Kessler. People tell me I see the world a little differently, and maybe they're right. I've always been fascinated by the way humans and animals mirror each other, interact with each other, and even teach each other. So if you love animals, stories, or just looking at the world a little sideways, you're in the right place. Welcome to Future Dog. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Future Dog. I'm your host, Jocelyn Kessler, and my co-host today is Mary Grace Kessler, and I'm back up in case Mary decides to bow out soon. Boom. I knew it, losing interest. We have Stuart Dugan on hold in the back, ready to get in at some point here. So let's start the show. Today we're talking about dog longevity, wellness, and how do we keep those missing links right at our feet with us for longer. You know what? I'm sure we all share this of what it's like to lose a dog, and I have lost my fair share over time, and I know out in the world, so have all of you, and it is literally gut-wrenching. It's almost unexplainable, really. And in this day and age, their lives, unfortunately, are getting shorter. And also, in this day and age, so are human beings. We have the ability to live much longer, but in some cases, because of illnesses, disease, whatnot, stress, human beings they may be living longer, but there's a lot of chronic issues. It's not as fulfilled, and we're seeing that as well in this day and age in our dogs. The number one killer in both human beings and dogs is cancer. Second close runner-up is heart disease, right? A lot of that comes from, yes, you have disease, it's passed on, however the disease is formed. A lot of it can be emotional, it can be over time, it can be through our food, it can be genetic, doesn't matter either way, it's happening, and it's happening quicker, which puts the concern on many of us as human beings who love our dogs, either singular or plural, and really rely on them in so many ways that if we could just have them live a little bit longer, I would say, I'm watching my dog, Mary Grace, drink out of my producer Aaron's water cup profusely. Okay, it's a Stanley, that's fine. All right, either way, we want to see our dogs living longer, and of course, here at Future Dog and out with all you guys, we are not alone. And recently, Forbes magazine, and we'll get that clip up, put out a cover, and on the front of it, it was getting a longer leash on life, dog longevity, and that this startup that's being run by Celine, and Celine, please bear with me, I do not want to be butchering this name, Celine Halioua, I believe, and of course I will be corrected if I mispronounce. Thank you. Okay. Listen, I don't know. We haven't been going on. I cannot keep a co-host for the fucking life of me. I'm not quite sure why. I don't know. We'll deal with that. Maybe I'm not offering enough amenities up here. Either way, no one wants to be up. Stuart would rather have an ice cube. But Celine Halioua is a scientist with a background at Oxford University and with a scientific company called the Loyals, and she has recently raised $135 million from our world's top investors to have a drug and the funding to put together in the study for a prescription or a drug that will allow our senior dogs, basically from ages 9, 10 up, to live longer. Now, from what I understand, this was developed by Celine, who also has a Rottweiler who's a senior, and we'll get a picture. I believe we have a picture of Della, the Rottweiler. We'll get it up. She is about a senior dog, and she thought she was around 12 years old, and it's probably off the love and connection that Celine has with her dog, and happens to be that she's a young, brilliant mind, and saying that we are in a society that is preparing for humans to be able to live much longer, or kind of freeze themselves until they want to wake up way in the future, cryotherapy-esque. However we're doing it in humans, we can't make our dogs too far to follow. Right, Mary Grace? Mary Grace just turned 1. If I could have her live to 50, well, I don't know. She'd be living here without me, probably. I don't know. But either way, if I could have her live right up until I walk off this planet, I would do it. And so I'm really pro this. It's a big story, and they have a lot of funding, a lot of scientific backing, and they really believe that by 2026, more or less, that this is a solid FDA approval here. Okay, that's fabulous, right? What does that mean right now? Well, since I work with both animals and humans, and that's why I'm the black sheep, because everyone says, can't you just work with dogs? What does that have to do with a human being? Everything. Because in the time that we're going to, if you're not connecting your health and well-being and your animal's health and well-being and how you deal with your energies, your emotion, your stress, and your life, you're not watching it within your animal or sharing with your animal, then I don't know what you're doing. Right? I mean, this is the future, my friends. This is future dog. We're not acting like we used to act. They're not acting like they normally are. They have great potential. We have new potential. All this science coming up, I believe, for human beings, it was 2027 is roughly what I've been reading, that there will be a new pill out that will allow human beings to live well past what they would normally. But here's what we miss. It's a great story. Like I said, we'll get a couple of shots up of it. You can go and read further yourself, and what they're doing is fabulous. But what I'm here to say is I get a lot of questions of what is the current wellness for our dogs now? They don't eat the same. They don't think the same. I always say that what I constitute as our future dogs, to all of you, what I constitute as the new dog, the new makeup internally, the new makeup on their mind, the new makeup of what their needs or wants or what they can detect out of frequencies, yada, yada. The new makeup of all of that is that if you have a dog under the age of 7 years old, more or less, right now, you've got a future dog. Boom. Right? And what's the future? First of all, I didn't know that my future dog, actually I did, quite likes ice. All right? Now we know chewing on ice is not the best for the human's teeth. My producer, Erin, chews on ice all the time, but she is now encouraging Mary Grace is also ice chewing. So relieves a little anxiety and also a natural, nice snack. I'm just saying that because everyone's chewing ice to my left. So let's get into what is the new wellness, right? What is it that if in 2026, you can leave him, Erin. No, let's go. In 2026, if we have, and this is approved, and I believe, thank you, Stuart. Stuart is a baby. Stuart's not even 1 yet. So what we're saying is that we have a drug in 2026 that Stuart could be sitting here at what? Maybe age 20 or not sitting here, right? Stuart has an attitude the size of my whole city that I live in. This is a solid little guy, and he probably would love to live much longer. Right, Stuart? Are you into the... He's giving me the side eye. Either way, let's talk about wellness now since I have little Stuart here. This is what I would call, this is Gen Z, the alpha generation. This is Gen A, alpha generation out in the world, and Mary is Gen Z. Okay, let's put it that way. And every other animal and dog and around are all the boomer generations. Okay, so now let's look at wellness and health. How the boomers are eating out in the world, or how they sustained, or how they did and took care of their health, or what they can see out of frequency, or all these big things, is very limited. right? And then we bring in what I like to say, the new generation, the Gen Z and the alphas. And in our dogs, that's exactly what that we have. Just like in human beings, Gen Z and alpha, they are programmed differently. They come out almost digitally. They come out almost like a proverbial iPhone, right out in birth. Boom, they're on it, right? They think ahead. They see all life as future, where we're going like now. They have abilities that many of us don't. That's the same with dogs. So these are what, sitting right here in my left hand, is a picture of the alpha generation for dog and future dog. And what does that come with? With wellness. So if we're looking toward in 2026, and we have the ability to have this FDA approved, that our senior dogs have the ability to live longer. And how does that work? Well, they're working with metabolism, and that's how I'll get to wellness. And what it says here is that this drug has the ability to trick the metabolism to a younger age. So if you have a 10-year-old or a 12-year-old older dog, the metabolism gets tricked to be as a younger dog, i.e. this, right? So we have a drug that then says to an older dog's body and metabolism, you are you have a younger metabolism, a younger mind. It's a tricking form, and it gives a healthier metabolism, which, i.e., gives longer range to live, right? Lengthens the lifespan of your dog. Here's where I have a couple bit of issues that don't always get explained when all these things come around, whether it's human being or it's dog. What happens if they're already ill? What happens if they have eating issues? Where's their current wellness? Where's their current mindset and their mental abilities? If they're ill and you want to feed your dog who has cancer and kidney failure in the process or the beginnings of kidney failure at 11 years old, will this drug terminate that? Kill the illness, terminate it, restructure the whole the body on a cellular level, which then redoes a cellular level, which I would only believe then, I'm not a scientist, that if you're restructuring the cellular level, does that then have the ability to obliterate what existed prior? That's interesting. That's interesting because our dogs in this day and age at ages 10, 11, or 12, not all of them, but a lot of them are already showing some issue, some depletion, a disease, or a problem that then speeds up, them passing because of that. So somewhere in between, before we get this miraculous drug, we need to know how can we at least have a healthier dog or help our dog get through, get through whatever sickness they're in, so that when we want to restore their makeup, they're in a healthy frame of mind to move forward. I think a lot of times it's no different than human being. If that we said in 2 years, you can take this drug, this will allow you to live longer. This drug will obliterate cancer. This drug will obliterate heart disease and then redo your metabolism to the metabolism of a 10-year-old or a 7-year-old. In some ways, that strip the mind as well? Do you keep intact of a mind that's been around? I think there are a lot of questions to be had within the scientific community and in the community that I work in, which is more behavior and the psychology of all this and how we use our energy to heal or move forward or let go or understand. And to that is wellness. And if we're in the future dog wellness, what does that mean? It means we have dogs that have allergies now, very heightened allergies. Mary Grace is allergic to beef and to chicken. She has an insane reaction that's violent in ways that I have never even seen in all my years of working amongst this. She also has the ability to quite enjoy watching television. She has great reaction to colors, sounds, everything and more that I've ever seen. Also, our dogs, in future dogs, have the ability to smell and detect sickness quicker than back in, I would say, 10 years ago. Their frequencies have expanded. I just said in our last episode, they're able to feel and hear and vibrate frequencies about +2 frequencies more than we can. Our future dogs and dogs now have the ability to go even higher, maybe another 2 frequencies at this point. They have ability to heal in touch alone more now. So what I'm trying to say is we want to go into future, but here at Future Dog, we have to say we want to get there intact. We want to get there that we're working on our health and our wellness for our dogs now, not even 2 years ago, now, so that we are ready, whether we're human being and taking the pill to live longer, or we're ready to see if it works on our senior dogs so we can get another 8 to 10 years of life with these beautiful creatures. One thing is watch their health and wellness. Here's what I will tell you. I am a big proponent of food that either you're cooking or that you're finding a nice based multi-blend of grains, vegetables, and a fresh meat that your dog is not allergic to in a healthy ratio of proportions. Whether you're cooking that food, I cook Mary Grace's food. She's been eating the same 3 to 4 cooked variety, and she does get some kibble, but it's coated. It's more of a live kibble is what I like to call it. If you're feeding kibble right now that's been really over baked or over processed, in this day and age, I'd probably get rid of it hands down. We have a market that's full of all price points that if your dog wants a base kibble, Mary likes it, that you're not doing traditional kibble anymore whatsoever. Stay away from canned foods, all right? I'd stay away from anything fully processed. Not only that, that's for wellness. We're in a day and age and a time where our animals are also really nicely reacting to healing herbs. If your animal has a disease or any issues medically or with eating, please reach out to your vet to make sure of this. But in essence of herbs for healing, I use a lot of chamomile cold compresses from everything from itching to redness to, I use cold compresses when Mary has, we are trying to deliver news here, but an anal gland issue. I use a lot of herbal things. Mary Grace. Okay, so here's another thing of today's. Hey everyone, this is your future dogs. These are 2 current generations of dog thinking completely differently, right? They eat differently. These both dogs eat differently than I fed my last dogs 15 years ago, okay? You can see in the eyes, if you really look at today's younger dogs, look at their eyes, look at their mannerisms. They're very human-like, right? The way they sit and hang out. Mary is hanging out looking at herself in the mirror. At the same time, she's thinking about her day. The new future dog that you want to go and live longer with you and by your side needs now to start having you change. Your future dog knows your feelings and your emotions before you put them out. That's not back in the day. Your future dog knows if you're upset or you're crying in the car as you drive home before you get to the house. Future dog, Alpha A and Z, they know it ahead of the game. Now everyone say, well, how can that be? How can that be? Evolution, my friends. You got to let it go. You're not going to have science, every little thing put into stone. Look at how long we waited for science to tell us certain things about ourselves and our animals that were true for at least 20 plus years, but we can now say we've studied it. We don't have time for that, people, for waiting for someone to tell you that we've studied it and it's okay to incorporate it and believe it. New future dog time is stop letting other people think for you. These dogs don't. Here's the other key resource, everyone. You ready to really ward off disease? Stop throwing your shit on your dogs. If you're ill or you're going through hard times, or you know other people are ill or going through hard times, stop dumping it on your animals. If you know that you're holding something and you can't get out of your head and you can't be present with your dog, your family, yourself, out on a nature walk, if you can't find time and not work on yourself that way to get present and let that go so you can raise vibration, which allows you to fight illness quicker, i.e. future dog, they're fighting their own illnesses now. How do you support that? Through food, and mentally, what do you do with them? We can no longer, I am telling you right now, you can give a pill and this can go through at 12 years of old age. But if every year up to it, we all feed our dogs shit and cry at them all day or scream or not let anything go. Look, I'm raising my tone. Well, it's not really affecting Mary because you want to know why? Intention isn't there. Again, I just said this last episode about spirit. What changes it on how they react? Intention. What changes how your animals, their health, and how they move forward? Your intention toward them. From how you love them, how you emotionally are not going to dump on them, how you treat them in the home. Are they just the dog or are they a family member? It is time, everyone, to make them, and so many do. I mean, we are lovers, but we have a lot of people that don't. And I know some of those people who'll say, Jocelyn, it's just a dog. And I said this a couple episodes ago, but if we all want to live extra long in the future and we want them to live extra long in the future, then we've got to start viewing them not as just a dog. It's just something that, right? Right, Mary? Are you just a dog? Just a dog. We're not 1985. Oh, I'm spitting. That's how serious I am. We're not in 1985, people. This is not longer just a dog. This dog gauges my whole day, every day. This dog calls me out. She doesn't like this kind of. You don't like the collar. Okay, well, we're on camera right now. Can we like it for the camera? In the moment. This dog lets me know if I am holding something or I'm being a piece of shit. As human beings, that can be in different ways. But if I'm walking around like a nasty schmuck, or if I am getting overheated too long on something that energy-wise Mary Grace feels it's already been solved. Now, I know you can all relate to this with your dogs. When they finally just tune out, like, well, didn't we just get through it? We as human beings need to see that. That is advance, my friends. That is advance. I no longer, and I will tell you, back in the day, about 10 years ago, as we all have, I mean, I've worked on myself over time, but I've never had a dog so much literally let me know in some way, and whatever it is between us, when I'm going into a place that's unproductive in my mind. When I'm going to a place in my mind or in my body that could either make me ill, has no foundation on the present moment or the future, and is generally bullshit, fear, or something that watch our minds. That's the hindrance, the mind. It's great to take a pill and live longer, but if we can't clear up our minds and keep their minds clear and in that fresh, in the moment dog perspective, then we're going to still be losing here. If we can't work on this, and then in turn, let them work on this, and keep this all clean, then we can take a pill on a dirty foundation. You get it? A lot of times we're moving really fast. We're moving fast. I'm a big believer of it. Everyone knows it. I do believe animals, dogs will outlast us. I absolutely do. Not everyone, not people who have money and can freeze themselves or let their cellular makeup just maybe go into dormant for a certain amount of years until they realize how to wake it up. Probably no different for our dogs either. Until we realize and figure out that we can take something or have some kind of treatment that wipes out everything else that we took on and we held, or all maybe the weaknesses we had in our mind over time, or all of our individual. We are individual people. We're all individual. Believe it or not, as wonderful as this is, this pill may not work on a 12-year-old dog who is in kidney failure. Now, it may work on a 12-year-old dog that's pretty clean. I think that it's really hitting science and saying, how do you go and clear out all that shit that's already in there in both human beings and animals? How do you clear and get them to let go and get reconnected and work on that, get it out, and then regenerate and give longer life? If not, we're regenerating off of issues, which I don't believe. It's a catch-22. I don't know. I don't know if you'll get it. I don't know if you get it with us either, right? And that's the thing about all this in science, and that's why I've always encouraged people, stop waiting to be told about that. Something you believe in, something that's new, something you know your dog does, or that's something you've been doing and you know it's affecting your dog. And so you are going to work on it to stop it because it's probably a neurosis. It probably doesn't fucking help you, and it probably hasn't helped you. And the reason why the dog isn't responding is because they don't know why you're still holding something that just doesn't work in your life. So instead, in the past, if we get really upset with that, we're going to dump it on our dogs. Right, Mary, you're going to want to talk about, and then he said this, and then I don't know why, and victim, and then this happened, and then that happened, and what do you think? And then I've seen the videos of people, and I've seen people talk to their dogs. I mean, what do you think? I mean, why do you think he does that? First of all, let me tell you this. When you want to talk to your dogs, or even to yourself, and you're trying to pose, you have to solve something. Let's just make it simple. You got to solve something, right? Like a dog, you have to solve something. If you have to, and ever that time that you're putting it toward yourself or your animal, right? Something that you want to solve or you want to, and wellness is mental too. It's physical and mental, spiritual. Our wellness in this day and age for our animals or for ourselves, there's no place that we're not going to touch. The days of just saying physical wellness and what you eat, those days are gone, my friends, for both of us, all of us. There's not just one way we're getting wellness. This is future. Future dog, future people. This is the future, my friends. You need to attack every single area. Often, usually, the heaviest vibration that we can't let go, or the heaviest image, dog or human, or the heaviest burden, or any anger or fear, is not real. It's usually the mind, and we've perpetrated it. They've perpetrated it. We have helped them perpetrate it. We perpetrated it on ourselves, and it's gotten way out of whack. Okay, now what? Now we don't even know why we were so upset about it. Now we don't know why. But usually half the time, majority of the time, if we are blaming anyone else while trying to figure it out, anyone else other than ourselves. That's the problem. And your dog can't help you. Spirit can't help you. Belief can't help you. Nothing can help you. You can't fool energy. So, it's no different with dogs. They don't blame everyone else. I've seen dogs cutely, though. If they get in trouble in the kitchen or something like that, they'll look and put a side eye to their sibling or the other dogs like it wasn't me. They know how to do that. But I'm talking in a bigger, heavier way. We can't skirt and skate anymore because they're not. So that's what we need to learn. How much time in the day do you take time out and you get quiet with your dog? I'll tell you one thing I don't allow in my dog walks. I never put anything in my ears, and I don't take a phone unless I'm waiting for something very important. Into my back pocket. I don't have, in my ears. I'm not listening to music. I'm not listening to anything. I am walking and present with my dog. That's another tip. I know these sound so basic, but if they're so basic, then why don't we do it? We've come in a lot of years out in society and in science, frankly. I have no problem going up against anyone in science. For many, many years, we want to put excuses or say a way it should work. We are big talkers. Talk around it, talk it through it, There's no room now. There's only one way, basic and simple. When you go take your dog for a walk, take your dog for a walk. Put the phone and all this digital shit down a minute. Go walk your dog. Take a breath. Don't think about 27 things. Go look at a bird. How's your dog walking, moving? You having a nice walk? Are they listening? Do you feel through the leash, or if you're off leash somewhere? Does it feel like, we're connected, we're outside, we're taking a moment, everything else can wait? How often do you do that? I know it's not a lot. I see it and I work with it enough. That's one simple tool. You want to change your health, you're feeling run down and under the weather? Take all your digital shit out, stop reading the news, stop doing your job, stop everything. Get with your dog, go play, go take a walk, go sit down on your favorite couch, look at each other, smile, pet, take a breath, get everything in focus, do your work. Think about what you want to solve and where you're going and what you don't need anymore. Those are simple. I just named 3 things. And one would say, that's not simple. Do you know how many things I have to solve and I don't need right now? Well, there we have a problem. Why is it that you have that much? Because this dog doesn't. And your dog doesn't. And that's what I've always said. Let them mirror you. Why do you have so much but they don't? Well, because they're a dog. Excuse 1. You want to keep going? Well, because I go out and work and I do this and I do that, and this dog sits home all day. I have food cooked for this dog and they get everything they need. I mean, they don't lead a life like me. That's why that dog does it. Strike 2. Well, when I was growing up, I had these issues and I can't change them. Strike 3. Well, I don't have time. And how am I going to have time or afford to do these extra things for my dog and myself? It just doesn't work. Strike 5. You want me to keep going? These are the things that we didn't let the strike, there were no strikes over the years. Very lenient to human beings. And now we're shocked at why we're at the capacity that we're at. We're shocked that we have such a health and mental illness problem in this society. We are shocked. Why are you so shocked? I'll tell you who's not shocked. Stuart's taking a nap. He's had a big morning. Stuart Dugan is no longer on production today. He's maxed out. But he would be. If he wasn't maxed out, he'd be shocked too. Or not shocked. Okay? They're not shocked. Welcome to Future Dog. I said it last episode, and I'll say it this episode. You're kind of only fooling yourself. So what are the tips? You want to get ready for the longevity for your dog? Look at what they're eating. You want to go and extend the life of yourself and your dog? How much in your head are you each day? How many of the same problems are you repeating within yourself, but then you expect your animal to stop repeating them? I don't know why this dog he never changes. We do work on it. I work on it all the time. If you're screaming and telling me that, you're not working on it. Strike 7. Is it about taking it in home? And the only way any of these things will work is until we do it. Like I said, you can't take a pill, even human beings. In 2027, you can't take a pill if your mind's out of whack and you've got 3 other kind of harboring illnesses that we don't want to tackle, or we want to blame on everyone else, or we just want to let a physician take care of it all, and we don't do any of the help. And we can't take our dogs into that future time, especially our future dogs, acting like we're acting in our minds and our body like 25 years ago. That's where society is off. We are flashing forward in these major things from AI to robots. We're going to get there. Dogs and robots, you'll be even happier than you think off of exactly what I'm saying. Off exactly what I'm saying. We carry a lot of mental plague for these animals. We have got to get our shit together in order for us to really see what the relationship between human and dog can really be. Now, this woman, before I wrap this up, Celine Halioua, who is the subject and the cover of Forbes for this brilliant move. These are some of our brilliant minds who are coming in. We need to be very happy about that. She's young and brilliant. But what we can do as they come in and develop these great, very futurist, right? These are things that when we were young, we were like, these are on the Jetsons. She was on the Jetsons and stuff, like future stuff. We're here. But we can't expect to go to the future treating ourselves and our animals like it's 1980. Thinking like we can't let go of certain things, but we're ready to walk into the future. It just doesn't work that way. It won't work. It won't work. And people or dogs won't walk into that new time if you're still doing it that way. You don't need a science back or some scientists to let you know that these are little digital special beings that are divine order that can see, hear, move, taste, and sense 100 times more than you. But yet we still are overrun in these shelters, right? We still kick them in the side. We just give them a bone. I'm not going to spend that money for my dog. My dog doesn't know that. They do. And sometimes I get embarrassed when I shrug it off to think that Mary doesn't know. And I look in her eyes and she gives me one look that lasts about 30 seconds and then a slight tilt to the head of the left and maybe a reinforcement with a slight movement of the mouth of what I was thinking and putting to her in that moment, a matter of seconds, not talking about, not lingering, what I wanted to solve and what I knew I was doing over myself, that it wasn't working for me now, and it's not going to work in the long haul, and it's not going to work for us together to expand and go where I want to go. That one molecule that only I know, because we're all individual, and only you will know, and only they know as they're individual, that one moment of 30 seconds that she moved slightly like that, and I felt the energy through my hand, I went, you're right, I'm not going to do that anymore. And she looked at me and she gave me an easy wink, that was it. And she laid her head down and I got up and I moved on and I immediately in that beat started what I knew I had to let go that has held me back for years. We don't need to talk about it anymore. Now I can see it mirrored in her. That was me. We're all different, whatever that is for you. Let it be revealed. Let it be authentic. We're in a time of authenticity in a country and a world that I'd like to say, especially this country, we are the country of a con. The country of the con. It's a con. We want to sell it. We want to sell you on how we're thinking. We want to sell you on what you think our dogs are thinking. We want to sell you on what we want it to be. We want to sell. But the fact of the matter is the energy is not that anymore. And you've got a good amount of society and a good amount of human beings and other species who are saying, we don't believe you anymore. And even more so, human beings are getting a little stirred up because, and I know this, me, and I know what we just discussed, a few of us out here today. We said it before we started. The jig is up within us. The cell isn't working. It's not working privately anymore. It's not working out in the world anymore. And it certainly won't work in your today's dog. They will give you a look like, who are you selling? And it hits home real fast. And I say this, don't blame anyone else. In that second, people will say, well, how will I know what they're talking about and what that feeling is? You know, what were you thinking when you connected? What is that deep-seated elephant in the room? Is it your health? Is it how you spend your time? Is it how you use your emotions? Do you spray it like a cat and heat all over your people and place and things? Do you do that? How often do you do that? If you're in a bad mood, you take it home over and over again? How often is it hypocrisy? You expect your dog's behavior and the way they are out in the world to be a certain way, but you'll be pretty lenient with yours because you're a human being, right? Why not? I go out in the world. Even more so, you're more out in the world with them. Buck up, little campers. That's true. We got to buck up. We need to get to their level. Change our health, change their health. Watch what you're eating. I watch my mind, and I know Mary has little ticks. She's a rescue. We have a lot of rescues out in the world. They have ticks. It's okay. It's individual. We can get through it. We can work on it. Her tick, I can speak for myself, and I've seen it with others, but her tick that drives me a little crazy is not too far from the very tick that also drives myself crazy that I do to me. So it's a bit of an entitlement tick. It's a bit of I'm scared, so I'm going to go this route tick. You can all explain what your ticks are to each other or to your animals. They're different for all of you. It's different. Find the ticks and work on it. Because that's future dog. Because we're in an energy now is that you don't want to do certain things anymore. You want to go be the best you want to be ever. You don't want to be you want to really use this energy in these new times we're going in to live at your fullest and let your dog live at your fullest and use them at their fullest brain capacity. That's the new dog. That's the new way. We don't second guess them anymore. Don't second guess them. Just work on what it is that you're not second guessing. Hone not what you hear them saying in words, people. Stop that. We can't talk about AI robots and living up to like 300 years old if we're still saying, well, what is he saying when that energy? I felt the energy, but what exactly? Like, what are the words that they're trying to say? What are they trying to say? People, it's an energy. They're not speaking the exact same language of you. Dogs are very simple. It's straight up. It's right in the moment. How does that feel? Good or bad? That's it. It feels good. Great. Let's act off of that. Feels bad. Great. Let's act off of that. It's not all these, why do they do this? Why do they say this? No. They're very clear. You got to get clear. And that's how all this stuff works, right? If you can think and interact with your dog at a level you never have, trust the vibration you get from them. Stop nitpicking. Trust the vibration you get yourself. Trust yourself more. That's why most people can't even understand a vibration. You can put their energy into words for yourself. Nobody said you can't. That's your words between you, however it makes sense. But a lot of people, and trust me, they say all the time, they say, well, what are they? I just don't know how to make sense of it. I don't know how to make sense. I don't know what they're saying. Boom, right then and there. How would you possibly imagine that you could? Just with that response. We need to get bigger. We need to get kind of professional here as walking around on this planet as souls. Our souls have the potential to do very big things. We can be a soul here and also be functioning in other frequencies, my friend, much like dogs. But again, the difference is that the reason why they can do that is they don't allow all that chaos that we do and all the explanations, all the voices and everything to have the bigger voice. They don't do that. And that's the issue. So you want to learn a lot from your future dog. You want to get them ready so you can extend their life and yours at the same time. So it's a fruitful, healthy life that you're like, oh shit, we really got it now. Who knew we would get through this? We're ready to go in the new. If you're really ready to do it, this is the time, my friends. Go in, be present, take care of your health, take care of their health, and for a little while, moving forward, function like it's 2035. That's what I would say. No longer the olden days. And then, when this pill comes out, and I believe it will, in 2026, and kudos to everyone behind this, and kudos for Forbes for putting it on the cover. When this comes out, not only will our dogs be ready, but so will we. All right, everyone, thank you for joining myself on Future Dog. I'm Jocelyn. This is Mary. That's Stuart. And I can't not say my producer, Aaron, who's also seemingly very much a part of this show, and we wouldn't have it anyway. Thank you for joining us. And until next week, let's be future dog level. All right, everyone, think big. We have the ability to do it. Trust. All right, I guess that's it. We're out, everyone. Bye.